Hello and welcome to another Stamp with Amy K Facebook Live video. And I'm just out here double checking that I am live on my business page, which is where I would like to be, and hopefully I am. And just pulling up so that I can see comments and things when you guys hop in and say hello. So, all right, looks like we are live and we are going. So I will go ahead and get started with my card. Today we are making a card that I used the gold cards and envelopes for the card base, which these are beautiful, beautiful cards. They have the gold foiling around the edges, which is absolutely stunning. And then it comes with a coordinating gold envelope. And these are very, very pretty as well. So I do hope that you'll get them. They come in a pack of 10 and they're beautiful and really, really easy to use. So, hey Karen, and I saw Jean Ann popped on. It looks like Barbara is here and Jackie and gosh, who else? Everybody's kind of hopping on all at once, and Terry and Elise, and so awesome. Thanks everybody for hopping in and saying hello, and Julie's here too. So all right, so this is the card we're going to be making today, and it features the Joyful Holly stamp set, which is one that might not be on your initial radar when you look at the catalog, but definitely is one that you should get. The sentiments are very pretty in it, and it's really super easy to use, and it's got some really nice images. So this is one of the new ones from the mini catalog that we've got going on right now. Hey Bree, I'm glad you're here, and thank you Karen, I appreciate that. I'm glad you guys are liking the cards. So. All right, and Mary Ann is here as well. Hello, and Marilyn, thanks so much for hopping in today, everybody. All right, a couple of other things that I used on it. I used the Tasteful Labels dies, and it was this die in particular that I used to cut out the sentiment. This is a great set of dies, which again, if you don't have it, you definitely need to get it. And the other thing that I used, because, you know, I pretty much can't not use them, is the Stitched Rectangles dies. I used the third largest rectangle to cut out around the holly image here. Well, actually, I cut the rectangle first and then stamped the holly on it just because it's a little hard to tell when you don't have it cut out exactly where you're stamping it. So, all right, so that is what I used on the card today. Let me set the dies over here aside, and a couple of other things that I wanted to remind you about. Gosh, I hope I don't start coughing. I apologize if I do. I don't know why. I get a little tickle in my throat all of a sudden. I am doing a fundraiser for the state of Iowa. They had a horrible storm that went through there about, gosh, I guess it's 2 weeks ago, and it leveled about a third of the state. I mean, it was just like hurricane strength winds that went through the state of Iowa, which is in, you know, the middle of the U.S., nowhere near where they should be having hurricane strength winds. So a very strange storm ran through there. I'm doing a little fundraiser where I'm donating 20% of any sales that happen between now and the end of August directly to a group called the Iowa Giving Crew. And then I also have links out on my blog where you can donate directly yourself if you would prefer to do that. And if you either order $50 or greater, or you do a donation of $25 or greater directly, you will be entered for a chance to win the awesome Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine that I'll be giving away on September 1st. And we definitely, hey Shelly, I'm glad you're here. So yep, we are almost at $1,000. So actually, if we hit $1,000 in donations, I'll be giving away a second one of these. So like I said, we're almost there. So yay about that. Couple of other things just wanted to remind you about. Bonus days, coupons, if you have any. You definitely need to get them cashed in before the end of August. So make sure you're spending those coupons if you have them, because they will expire and Stampin' Up! Will not extend the expiration date on those for you. And then the last thing I wanted to remind you about really quickly, hey Carol, glad you're here, and Denise, glad that you're here as well, is Stampin' Up! Has got a new starter kit promotion starting on the 1st of September, and it runs through the month of September. And they're basically giving you like a class to go, essentially, in addition to your starter kit. So you get to pick $125 worth of whatever merchandise you would like for your starter kit. You're going to pay $99 plus applicable taxes in your area, and the kit will ship for free. And then in addition to that, Stampin' Up! Is also going to give you 2 stamp sets, the So Much Love stamp set and the Queen Anne's Lace stamp set, and card packs to make up a whole bunch of cards. I believe it's, it's 16 cards in total, and a pack of rhinestones. So you're going to get all of that in addition to your normal starter kit that you get to pick yourself. So if you have questions or are interested in joining, definitely let me know. I'd be happy to chat with you about anything. All right, so let us get on. Hey, Wanda, I'm glad you're here from Northeast Georgia as well. All right, let us get moving along with the card. So as I said, I went ahead and pre-cut this with one of the stitched rectangles dies. It's very vanilla cardstock, and it was the third largest die that I used. And I'm going to be stamping in garden green. This is the outline image of the holly. And I'm sorry, I'm not sure what the issue is with the dog. She's in my office and she's like prancing around in circles. So I'm sure you can hear her walking around on the hardwood floor. She's just kind of walking in circles. So I don't know if one of the kids is right outside and she's nervous about that or what she's doing exactly. But anyway, Jeannie's being Jeannie. So, all right, so let's stamp this down here. And again, it's garden green ink and the Joyful Holly stamp set. And just going to turn it the other way and stamp it a second time. Looks like I maybe don't have quite enough. There we go. That looks a little better. Stamp it a second time down here on the bottom of the panel. All right, looks like we got a pretty good image both times on that. So I'm going to close up the garden green ink, and then next up will be Pear Pizzazz. Oh, she needs treats. Of course she needs treats. That's yes, I'm sure she's probably all about that, Karen. So hey, Karen, thanks for hopping in from Michigan as well. So next up we've got Pear Pizzazz ink, and I'm using that to stamp the more solid holly leaves in over the lined leaves. I'm going to turn this a little bit, and like I said, it's actually a really easy stamp set to use when you are not on camera with a camera in between you and what you're trying to stamp. It does make it a little more challenging, so I will tell you that it's very easy to line up when you don't have a camera in the middle of you. But it makes it a little more challenging because I kind of have to look from the side when I'm doing this, which doesn't make it real easy for me. But like I said, when I stamped it originally, the first time, I stamped them all perfectly, which I did not get this one perfect, but I think we're going to call that close enough for now. All right, so let's close up the Pear Pizzazz ink. And then next up, we've got the little holly berries in real red. Even with the camera, I did it perfectly. They're a little off, a little bit off. Not hugely off, but off enough that I'm not loving it, but it's okay. We'll see if we can cover it up with something. All right, we've got, again, I'm stamping the holly berries in real red ink. And they fit perfectly. The little holly berries actually work perfectly with both of the sets of holly. There are two different types of holly in the stamp set, and these holly berries will stamp on both of them, which is kind of a cool little thing that they've set it up to work together. All right, let me get that ink out of the way. And next up, I have cut a piece of gold foil sheets, and it's cut to 3 1/8 by 4 1/2, and it will layer underneath my stamped images. And I'm running very low on Stampin' Seal, so I fully expect to run out here at some point while we're on the video, but I've got a Stampin' Seal Plus sitting here at the ready, so if I run out of this, you're not going to have to sit and watch me change out the cartridge on it. So, all right, just going to adhere that together. And then take my gold Cards and Envelopes card base, and I'm going to adhere the layered panel to the card front. All right. Hopefully y'all are enjoying your Tuesday afternoon. So school starts here for my younger one tomorrow. I'm still kind of waiting, and I'm half expecting to get a phone call in the middle of this the video from the school. I'm still waiting to hear transportation-wise. I mean, nothing like wait until the very last minute to let me know. But I'm waiting to hear on transportation for her, what time her bus is going to be here and all that tomorrow morning. So definitely excited about that, and I know she is excited and ready to get back to school as well. All right, while I was talking, I am putting a little piece of the gold metallic ribbon, kind of making a little Z across the card front here. Used a little Stampin' Seal to adhere it. Then we're just going to snip it off. Hey, Akiko, glad that you're here. We are starting early in our district. For the younger one, the older one's school is not starting until after the holiday. So I don't know, it's weird. But I'll take what we can get. All right, so we've got the card base done here. Next up, we're going to do a little bit of stamping. And again, I have pre-cut this with one of the Tasteful Labels dies. And I've got Versamark ink and my sentiment here all ready to go, and hopefully I will get this stamped straight, or at least straighter than what I stamped the holly images. Hopefully. Like I said, it's a little, getting of course a glare across it, but hopefully I'll get it straight enough. All right, and then we're going to do a little embossing with gold embossing powder. And I store mine in a little Ziploc container, so which makes it nice for cleanup and for dumping everything back in again. I don't have to worry about spilling too much. The only time I spill it is usually if I knock the entire container over, which is definitely a bad thing. I have done it before and made a huge mess on my desk, but that's okay. And then I've just clipped it with a little clothespin so I don't burn my fingers as I do this. So I'm going to turn the heat tool on. The Stampin' Up! Heat tool has 2 settings on it. There's a level 1 for drying and a level 2 for heat embossing. Oh, school's already started for you, Marianne? Yeah, some schools are starting. I'm hearing, I know I've got nieces and nephews that are already in school too, but here in New Jersey, they tend to start a little bit later, but we of course go till really late too, so. But like I said, I'm glad the younger one's heading back to school tomorrow. And she gets to go back, not quite full-time, but almost full-time, which I'm happy to hear that as well. They're making an exception for special education students in our district. So she's able to get back and do a school a little bit more than the typical ed kids are. But eventually they're going to bring everyone in for the same amount of time. But she's getting to go Monday through Friday from 8 to 1. So happy to hear that. And like I said, I know she's really excited to get back to school. It was definitely a challenge for her and for me having her be out of school for about 6 months. All right, using a couple Stampin' dimensionals to adhere the sentiment onto the card front. And again, just looking and hoping that I'm getting it centered. And I'm not sure if you saw, but I actually adhered the dimensionals down to the card front and then stuck the sentiment over the top. And I did that just because I wanted to make sure that I've got the dimensionals on the cardstock and not just on the ribbon, because they don't always stay put very well. Oh, so after Labor Day for you in New York, yep. So, oh, thank you. I appreciate it. It looks like a 1940s or 50s vintage card. So it's a great stamp set. It's definitely very pretty. So, and then Jean Ann saying used to start after Labor Day and wouldn't end until June. We actually didn't end until about mid-June here. So they have a lot of holidays, which a lot more than I used to get as a kid. So maybe that's why. I'm not sure why they have, just like I said, it was kind of we started not terribly late, but a little bit later than we typically did. And then they just kept going until June. So. All right, for the inside of the card, I'm just going to do a little bit of stamping with the same images again. So I've got the lined image of the holly, and I'm stamping it in garden green ink on a panel of very vanilla cardstock. I guess I should move that up a little bit so hopefully you can see it a little better. And then the Pear Pizzazz ink will go over the top of it for the inside images of the holly. And I'll see if I can stamp this one better. Usually that happens when I'm stamping it on camera. It's usually the outside of the card I make a big mess on, and then the inside of the card I stamp with no problems at all. It looks great, like I wanted the outside to look. So, all right, yeah, of course. That's pretty much, yeah, the inside looks a lot better than the outside on this card. That is okay. All right, next up we've got Real Red, and we're gonna stamp the holly. Hey, Chi, I'm glad that you're here. And Beth, thanks so much for joining. Oh, you like the colors? It's, yeah, I love the kind of traditional Christmas colors. It's fun to do things in other colors as well, but I kind of always tend to go back to the traditional reds and greens, and vanilla with the gold is one of my favorite things. All right, we have got the holly image stamped, and then one more sentiment, and we will be done. To sort of coordinate with the colors on the front with the gold, I pulled out Sahara Sand ink, and I find that when I stamp that, it looks a little like gold to me when I stamp it. I don't know. Maybe it's just a thing with me. Get all the northern holidays that you don't get in Georgia. That's true. Yeah, there are, like I said, seem to be kind of a lot of holidays here, and just randomly throughout the school year, which again, I'm just not used to that. Even as a kid, I grew up in the Midwest, and definitely it was different there. We didn't get nearly as many holidays. All right, going to use a little bit of Stampin' Seal here to adhere this to the inside of the card base. And I guess my Stampin' Seal, I think it's just getting ready to run out. So, barely made it. Finished up the video with it out before it ran out. All right, we're just going to adhere this to the inside of the card. And that's it for the inside, and then fold it closed and do a quick crease along the edge with a bone folder to get a good solid crease on it, and then pull out the envelope. And that is it for my card today. So I love the stamp set. Hopefully you all do too. And again, the gold cards and envelopes are so, so pretty and so easy to use. Definitely, if you don't have any of those, you definitely need to get it. And yes, Barbara, you do need to get that stamp set. It's really pretty and, like I said, really easy to use. Of course, when you're not stamping on camera. So, all right, well, I appreciate you all being here. I will be posting all the details for this card project out on my blog tomorrow, and I will share a link in this video once I get the blog post up and running, so you'll have all the measurements of everything that I used here. I appreciate y'all joining. Have a good rest of your week. I'll plan to be live on my YouTube channel on Friday around 2 o'clock Eastern time. That may be a little, it depends on the transportation. I will say that. If things change, I will let you know, but I'm planning to be live at 2 o'clock and then again at 2 o'clock Eastern time next week, Tuesday, here out on Facebook. So thanks so much for joining. Have a great rest of your Tuesday, and we will chat soon.